Yeah, so I'm gonna get right down to business. This video will be a tutorial on how to build a DOS machine. For those of you who don't know what DOS is, DOS was basically the first operating system that there was, and it was for older computers. I believe it came out in around like the late 60s, early 70s, so it's very, very old, and it's not supported anymore. The way I acquired DOS is if you have Windows XP or an older operating system, you can format a floppy disk with MS-DOS. And to do that, it's very easy. You go into the start menu, you go into My Computer, and if you have a floppy drive in the system, you right-click on it, and if you have a blank disk in there, you can click Format in the menu that when you right-click it, and it'll ask you what you want to do. Like you can format MS-DOS. So yeah, so I have already picked out the parts. So I'll start off with got a 90 watt power supply. Um, and I have a motherboard from a Gateway that was around here somewhere. And it's a pretty decent motherboard. And for a CPU, I have an Intel Celeron. It's clocked at 400 megahertz. Not really that impressive in today's world. And for RAM, all I got is a 64 megabyte stick of SD RAM because that's all we need for MS-DOS. Um, I think that's it for parts. I'm not using a hard drive just because I'll be booting it from a floppy disk. Um, yeah, got a floppy drive too, a 3.5-inch drive. So yeah, and I got a box monitor. This is just for testing. It's not really my main screen. So I'm going to start the build. Just gonna move some stuff. So I'm gonna take the motherboard and take the CPU, and you can see the CPU that the corners are different. So that means it only goes in one way and one way only. So you don't want to bend the pins if you put it in wrong. So on a lot of most computers, newer computers, there's like a little golden arrow in one of the corners, and there's also an arrow in the socket, and you want to make sure the arrows line up. But this doesn't have it, but it's okay. So we're gonna push down on this lever, take it out, you pull up on it, and you can just pull it out. You push down on it, and it makes it tight, good and tight. So this is what I got for a heat sink. And this doesn't have a fan just because it runs cool, but the power supply has a fan, and the power supply is going to sit on top of it, so just in case. But yeah, this system runs pretty cool. And now the heat sink's on there. It has this piece of metal right here. This piece of metal, you got to push down on it, and it clips in. So here's the fan here for the power supply, and it's just going to sit, the fan part's just going to sit on top of the heat sink. So actually, before I put that in, I'm going to put in the RAM. So the RAM, like the CPU, it only goes in one way. This is older style RAM, so it has 2 notches instead of 1, because modern day RAM sticks have 1 notch. And there's also little notch things in the RAM socket that that lines up with the notches on the RAM card. Then you push down, and it locks in place. So next, just going to plug in a power switch just because this power switch came with this motherboard. So again, the power switch, it only goes in one way. There's a pin that's knocked out. Don't know if you can see that, but right here, there's a pin that's knocked out. And there's a thing on the power switch, that white thing, that goes in the spot where the knocked out pin is. And next, I'm going to install the floppy drive. So on the motherboard, there is three of these sockets. Now 2 of them are IDE sockets. One is for the hard drive, and one is for the disk drive. It doesn't matter which one goes to which if you're installing a disk or hard drive. But there's a smaller one, and that's for the floppy drive. And again, like everything else, it only goes in one way. There's a little tab on the top, and there's a little notch in the socket. And our floppy drive is installed. So now I believe the last part is the power supply. And this is an older power supply. So instead of there's a so you got a cord that goes to the motherboard that's for powers everything, and this is for CPU power. Now in modern day power supplies, there's a 4-pin connector thing, and it's bigger, but this is older, and this came out of a small machine, so it's not like it was using all big amounts of power anyway. So this goes into this socket right here, and again, it only goes in one way. And gotta find the CPU cover. Yeah, here it is. And there's a little there's a fan. It looks like a fan header, sort of, or like a thing you plug a fan into, but it's not. It's for the CPU power, and that's where that goes. So the power supply is gonna sit on top of the heat sink right here, just for airflow. So now I gotta plug in if I can find the power cord for the motherboard. Oh, there it is. Oh, I need a keyboard too. I just got an old HP keyboard, PS2. It's the older style plug, so I gotta remember how to something. So keyboard gets plugged into here. I just had to look on the I/O shield for the pattern in which the keyboard, because the keyboard and the mouse both have a PS2 port, and the I/O shield is on the ground, so I had to look at which one goes where. So next, I'm just gonna plug the in the monitor. Now this is a 14-pin VGA, and I don't know why this is 14-pin because this is newer than this computer, but I don't care really. It still works. Alright, so I just gotta plug in the system now. Brightness convert. Oh, turned on. Alright, so it's booting. So it's lighting up. You can see gateway, legacy keyboard detected, drive error. Okay, so F1. Oh, I forgot to put in the disk. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to take the floppy disk. Just like everything else, it only goes in one way. Gotta reset the computer so that way I can boot from the floppy drive. And I forgot to plug in the power for the floppy drive. That's not good. So I'm gonna reset it one more time. I'm pretty sure there's no more mistakes that I've made. Alright, that's a good sound. That means the floppy drive's getting power. Alright, so the floppy drive's working. So it seems to be, everything seems to be working. So it's starting. So MS-DOS is starting. And up here is all the specs for like the CPU, the RAM, everything. Alright, so MS-DOS is booted. So because I don't have drive C, I will not. Drive C is the hard drive. Drive A is the floppy drive, and drive B would be the optical drive. But I only have drive A, which is the floppy drive. So there's not really much I'm going to be able to do, because for DOS, if you're using drive A, you're basically trying to boot into a game or something, like an old DOS game. So I'm going to type in CLS, which means clear screen. And so I'm going to type in time. So it says time is 12 o'clock. I don't know the real time right now, but it's it's like between 10 and 11, so I'm just gonna say it's like 10 colon 45 colon 00 and 64A, whatever. I don't really know what that is, but it's nothing important. So the time is, oh, invalid time. I shouldn't, oh, I see what I did. I typed in a D4 instead of 64. So again, 10, 45, 00, point 64A, enter. So the time is set, so clear screen, CLS, and I'm going to pull up the directory, so type in dir, and that's the directory, and clear screen, and alright, I'm gonna show you one more trick. So if you want to switch to drive C, you type in capital C colon backslash, and then there's like man, I don't know what it's called, but it's the that thing right there. I don't know what it is, so yeah, so you type in that and you press enter. It says invalid drive specification. That's because drive C is not in the system. It does not see a drive C, so that's why it says invalid drive specification. And if you want to switch to drive D, it's the same thing. You just type in D instead of C, colon backslash and that other symbol thing. Press enter. Again, invalid drive specification because the drive D is not there, which is the optical drive. And if you want to switch back to drive A, it's the same thing. A colon backslash and that symbol thing. And because drive A is there, it worked. So I'm going to type in clear screen, and that's basically all you can do for if you're booting from drive A. If you have drive C, there's lots more stuff you can do. But I don't have a hard drive in the system right now. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So to shut down, all you gotta do, you take power switch, shut it off, it shuts right off. So that's gonna conclude this video. My videos won't be scheduled, meaning that won't be posting at a certain time each day or each week. It'll just be random. So I'll try to post like at least once or twice, like a month or something, like once every week or something. But that's gonna be it. I hope this was useful to anybody who wanted to try this themselves. So I don't know what I'm gonna do next. But that'll be it. So yeah, just let me know in the comments if you want to see anything, or else I'll come up with something on my